you guys? Welcome back to a new week with me. I know I've been away for a month and I'm back and we're gonna get to this video because who cares about what the hell I'm doing? Okay. So welcome back to New Week with me. I'm glad to be back. Sorry if I look away, you guys. I've changed rooms as you can see. So this is gonna be the background for a lot of the videos now. We're gonna have this background going on here. As you read the title of this video, what I'm gonna be talking about today is the pros and cons of living in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, if some of you who are new to this video or new to my channel don't know, I currently go to college to Johnson C. Smith University in Charlotte, North Carolina. And this point of view is gonna be based off of my college experience in Charlotte for the year I've been here and how I perceive it. So if you're moving here from another state and you feel like I won't touch the things you really wanna know, I apologize in forefront that I may not know certain things. So this is me living basically in the city, in the uptown area of Charlotte, not necessarily for like homes and everything like that. Like in our old video of me and Joanna when we did the pros and cons living in North Carolina, in general we just talked about like the things of North Carolina and not specifically Raleigh. But that video got really viral and some people didn't like what we talked about and some people didn't really care for what we said, but then some people said it was helpful. So, you know, I don't want this to be a big controversy. So this is just my experience living in Charlotte. Overall, the population here is very, very crowded compared to other areas of North Carolina. This is probably the most compact area in North Carolina, and it's probably the most, this is where the major banks come to around the country. They come to Charlotte because we have Bank of America and Capital One and things like that, like BB&T. All those big banks have headquarters here, and or just they have big buildings where they have meetings and everything like that, but especially Bank of America, like I think their headquarters is in Charlotte. So a lot of business people come to Charlotte all of the time. It's constant all the time. You have some students, but you also have a lot of young adults. A lot of the young adults in Charlotte, North Carolina take up the mass majority of the uptown area in the apartments. There is an area near Metropolitan Avenue. I forget what that street is called, but a lot of it's like suburban mixed with the downtown area. I like it. It's very nice. It has a nice park and everything. If I can't name these park, my Charlotte people will hopefully name it for you. But it's a neighborhood behind Metropolitan Avenue that's near CPCC, which is a community college. But overall, like if you're moving here and you don't know, a lot of people have been asking me though, like, what is the difference between Raleigh and Charlotte, which should, you know, I prefer. I was born in Raleigh, and Raleigh is a place where you want to go and you want to just kind of have a family, get a nice large house, have a nice life and settle. You know, it's not much there. There is much, but there's not a lot of things that happen. It's very family oriented. It's where you want to settle down and have a family. Charlotte is like the more urban life of North Carolina. It's the most urban. It's more of like the city-ish life. My brother called it like a mini Atlanta, and that's what it's kind of like. You know, we have like a lot of popular places and things like that. So if you want to have a comparison, you can kind of put that in your mind of how it'll be. Pros and cons of living here in Charlotte is everything is around you, so you are never bored. There's always something. Like I'll be on Snapchat and there'll be like different, like there was one day it was like National Yoga Day or something, and they were literally doing yoga in this big open area downtown. They'll do like different parades and like there's literally something going on downtown Charlotte all the time for people who like to go out and just do stuff. And then celebrities like to come to Charlotte for CIAA, which is another event that happens in Charlotte, North Carolina for the basketball teams that come and play. I know one of my associates on campus, her name is Jasmine, she said that the All-Star game will be in Charlotte soon. So the Cleveland LeBron people, I'm not a basketball person, they'll be here and stuff like that. So they use Charlotte as a main place. Of course, the Carolina Panthers, this is their home, so their big stadium is there. So oh my god, when there's game day, there are people everywhere. Like I remember when the Carolina Panthers went against the Steelers, there was so much chaos. It was crazy. Like it was hectic. Like there were Steelers friends and people driving by yelling, screaming. Like it's so packed. And then like the other day, like at the Carolina Panther Stadium, they had like a family day. So Carolina Panther Stadium is also a main attraction. That's where the majority of people come to Charlotte for the games. And literally, if you're a Charlotte person, you're bound to end up liking the Charlotte Panthers. If you don't, or if you don't even like football, you end up going because it's such like everybody comes in Charlotte, goes to the games and everything, and then walk up and down the street. Another pro is that the Epicenter. The Epicenter is basically like the nightlife of downtown Charlotte, along with more bars. It's like bars everywhere. I want to say there's like either 2 or 3 or 4 clubs in the Epicenter that are very, very popular and very, very like common for people to go to if you want to have a nice club, and they're cool. And then they have a rooftop area, which I went to for a party that's really, really dope. Like you can have a wedding reception there. I mean, one time we went there and we were eating, and there's nice restaurants, I'll mention that in a second. We were eating and they were having like this like headphone party, and everybody was like had these like colorful light up headphones, and it was a lot of people on the rooftop just dancing and everything, but we don't hear anything, but they hear the music that the DJ's playing in their headset. So everybody's like, and we're looking at them like, what the hell? And it's like, it's a, you know, headphone party. So you just see weird stuff like that. Along with the bars and the clubs, there are nice restaurants in the Epicenter. There's like Five Guys, like this nice New York pizza place. There's also another restaurant, I'm forgetting the name. I think there's like a Highway 55-ish restaurant. There is Wild Wing Cafe. Like there's really, really nice restaurants there. Also along the sides of the Epicenter, not necessarily in it, but down different streets are nice restaurants. The biggest one that you see is Hooters and things like that. So it's really, really cool. It's busy as hell on the weekends. Do not drive at night through downtown Charlotte near the Epicenter, because you're gonna be like, taxis literally are like stopping in the middle of the street. Ubers, people catching rides, leaving, like it's very, very bad. And then there's a train system that goes through the city as well that takes you from point A to point B. I know the Spectrum Center is also downtown, which is where a lot of celebrities come and perform. That's where The Weeknd, where you guys saw The Weeknd, it's on my channel when I went to his tour. Then there's the BB&T ballpark where there's a baseball game, and sometimes they have like little festivals there. I remember I work in Metropolitan Avenue, so I literally like basically work downtown. But I was getting off work and I was going to get food, and I felt like there was like a little kind of mini like festival. It was like giving away like little stand-up stuff was up. I just feel like I'm missing so much stuff that I cannot think of right now. There's cool malls. There's Concord Mills, which is humongous. It has like a David Buster's in it, a movie theater, restaurants, and it's just huge. It's not like a big mall like where you see everybody. It's like literally like it's all on one level, and everything is just, it kind of like turns like that. Like you just are in like a maze of all these cool shops. And then like Concord is just all in all just big with like cool things. And then if you go towards near like Tybola in South Park, you have South Park Mall, which has like Neiman Marcus, all of like the higher end malls. It's a little bit smaller, but it's really, really nice as well. And then there's North Lake, which is the mall that most people in the city go to, they kind of prefer than going to Concord. A lot of the college kids go to North Lake that are near this side of the city, so a lot of people go there to go to the mall and to chill and shop and whatnot. We have an airport. Oh my god, I missed the airport. So the airport is really, really nearby, and it's really, really convenient. I thought the only airport that was close enough to Charlotte was RDU, which is in Raleigh. And even if you're in Raleigh, you have to take like a 30 to 45 minute trip to the airport. But the airport here is so close and convenient, and it's amazing. So the airport's there. I know I'm missing so much, and I'm probably gonna be yelled at by so many Charlotte people like, you didn't talk about this. Mind you, I've only been here for a year and I've only done so much. I know there's so much more. Make sure you look in the comments on this video if you want to know more, because a lot of people on the other video talked about stuff that I didn't talk about. So if you know more that I'm not mentioning, I'm just saying like the big stuff. But if there's other small things that you want to mention, like classes and all this other cool things that you can attend to, please leave it in the comments below, because this is also your time to share if you ever want to tell people who are moving. Because little do you know, a lot of people want to know how a city is before they move to it, but no one ever talks about it, and they're just going off of what online says. But online to me is not a generic source of where you're gonna go. Living is everywhere in Charlotte. There are literally apartments everywhere. Now the rent is probably more likely gonna be high. I'm gonna only say likely, it is gonna be high. But when I tell you there's apartments everywhere, like every time I see them doing construction, they're building an apartment complex. Like there's apartments everywhere, or in townhouses. Like if you're looking for somewhere to stay, 9 out of 10 you're gonna find somewhere to stay. Now the rent's gonna be high. This is because you're gonna get you're gonna be living in Charlotte. The further out you go, kind of near University, which is like near UNCC, you'll find more convenient apartments, but it's gonna be more of like college students are using those. If you don't like that, then that's probably not the best bet for you. Houses, I'm not 100% sure. Like the suburban areas may be a little bit further away from the city. You'll be going a little bit further to find like a nice house, but there are really, really nice subdivisions that I've seen. I've gone to people's houses and neighborhoods, and I've seen them look really, really nice. School system, I don't know too much about the public schools since I'm in college. I know there are a lot here as well, so I can't really speak on that. The cons, I would say, is the traffic. Like I said, since Charlotte is such a busy city, the traffic here is very, very heavy and very annoying and very just ugly altogether because people, to me, don't know how to drive. And I'm not an excellent driver at all. And I just feel like Charlotte people don't know how to drive. No offense to you Charlotte people, but you guys don't know how to drive. Like, I'll come off an exit and you guys don't want to let me over. You guys drive like 30 and a 70, like, or if you're driving fast, like this other guy was driving this BMW the other day and literally cut across 3 lanes and almost hit a car. Like, there's accidents every single effing day on the highway. I-77 going, I think, south is absolutely hell from 4:30 until like 6 or 7. Right there, that traffic is horrible. You're gonna be sitting, and it's not worse than like Atlanta, but it's bad. But there's accidents every day. But I forgot to mention Carowinds. That's an amusement park. If you're living in Charlotte, like the city area, it's like 20 minutes. Really, right? You could see it when you're going on I-77 and it's like right there. That's also a pro. It's like really, really cool if you're ever bored. Another thing is like when it rains here, it rains really, really hard. Every time it rains here, I swear, I feel like there's like buckets of water falling. Like, it's so bad that it's not even funny how bad it is. Like, when it rains, it rains. Like, it's horrible. Like, it floods when it rains here. There are days when it's light, but when it gets down. Like, you would think we would have trees out the ass, but it's like, it rains horrible here. And when it's hot, you guys, when it's hot, it's dry heat. It's so horrible that it's like you sweat even when you just walk, like when you step out your car. Like, you know the places where it's hot? This where it's hot, and it's just dry as humid heat. Like, it's annoying. But when it's nice weather and it's nice, like you'll see people driving with their nice foreign cars, with their convertibles and everything like that, driving down with their top downs and everything. So it's bad. And when it gets cold too. It is more expensive though when you live in the city. Everything, like the rent, like I said, is high. The food will be a little bit higher and everything just because it's near like more of the social area of Charlotte. And of course, if you are living in the downtown area, their food places are hard to get to because everything closes at like 9 or 10. Some of the bars are open, but I know I find myself always like not being able to find somewhere to eat at like late at night except Cookout. So there's a lot of construction going on. There are a lot of new buildings being built, but some of the roads are still being constructed on. So if you're coming from like the Greensboro area and the central area of North Carolina, or Raleigh, up the more northern part of North Carolina, you're coming into Charlotte, you will come across an area of construction that like you're doing fine, like you're going like it'll say like High Point and everything, and you're coming into Charlotte. You think you're good, and then it gets like this, and this becomes one lane because they're doing construction, and it takes you like 30 to 45 minutes to get out of it because trucks are everywhere and you're stuck in that little lane. So if you're coming from Charlotte, you know what I'm talking about. You're like, oh, that guy was right. You're still gonna be stuck in there for like 30 to 45 minutes because it's so slow and it's hard to get out of. So that area, and they're still building the road to widen it. And there's other parts of Charlotte where the roads are just horrible. Like they have holes everywhere. Some areas it's like patchy and you just feel like, oh my god, like my tire is gonna be horrible. So the roads here are really, really bad. Just in general, the people, I want to say, the people in Charlotte, not that they're different from people in Raleigh, but you get more people from around the country, and you get a lot of rude people. A lot of people in here, and I'm sorry if I offend anyone, but a lot of you guys think you're like bougie and uptight and like you don't have time for stuff. Like working in the Metropolitan, I see literally all types of people, from the NFL players of the Carolina Panthers to just business people to families to young adults. Like you guys, you're gonna see a lot of this wannabes here, and that's just because they take living here very serious, and instead of enjoying what they have, they just want to live this kind of like fantasy of like they think they're in LA or something. So you'll see a lot of that, and you'll get that type of atmosphere from people here. They're very snobby and they think they're all that, but in reality they're not. They're just normal people that they just think they have an upper hand on things. Like drivers here, they know their accidents every day, so if you get hit, pray to you that they stay, because a lot of them like to do hit and runs, and I will say this, that they do not care. They know what the process is, they know how long it'll take, and they know what will happen, so they just leave. I'm not saying that this will happen to you, but just please be careful and watch out for these other drivers. Don't worry, you worry about yourself, but it's always the other drivers you have to worry about because they do not know how to drive. When it's raining, when it's traffic, Charlotte, I think that's probably my number one. Like I hate I don't want to say hate because hate is such a strong word, but I just strongly dislike Charlotte drivers here. Like, it's crazy. But besides of all that, I know the pros like outweigh the cons, but it's because Charlotte is a very beautiful city, and I would recommend it to any person moving to North Carolina that are moving from a big city. It's not just like New York and Atlanta, but it still like gives you the atmosphere of busyness if you kind of like that. So if you're wondering, like, you know, I have one person hit me from Snapchat, and you can hit me up from Snapchat and ask me any questions. If I get to them, I will, but I can't promise you that I may be able to get to it in a timely fashion. But somebody compared like Raleigh, North Carolina, I mean Raleigh to Charlotte, I said Charlotte. They said Charlotte to Atlanta, I said Atlanta. And that's just because Atlanta and Charlotte, they are similar to some extent of being in the South and being kind of busy. But Atlanta has more, and it's a bigger city. There's just a lot of life here, I will say that, and it's very fun. I mean, from basketball games with the Hornets to football games, and all in all, you'll always have something to do, and there's restaurants everywhere. Like, there shouldn't be a time where you're eating at the same place. If that's the case, and you're not exploring, because there's so many restaurants. Like, so I hope that this video was somewhat informal and somewhat of an interesting kind of message to give. Like, right now it's like storming outside and it's raining and it's really, really hard. I already hear it. But if you guys who are living in Charlotte, my Charlotte people, if you have anything that I did not say, please leave it in the comments below and let everybody know. If you have more questions, also put in the comments below and let someone else answer it, because that's what happened on my other video of the pros and cons of living in North Carolina. Somebody will answer it if it will not be me. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a like and thumbs up. I'm sorry I had been away, but I'm going to get back on my A game and come back to you with the new content. Please share and subscribe. Please subscribe. I kind of had a quota over the summer that I don't really have a goal anymore. I don't want to meet any like subscriber goals. Like, I'm just gonna do videos just to do them, and when I'm not necessarily in the mood, but when I had the idea to do it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna still try to be weekly, but I don't want to keep you guys any false promises. My book lovers, I know you're still there, and I'm still here too. I'm reading, so it'll be a book talk or something next week that will keep you guys in the mix of everything. But you guys already know this channel ain't going nowhere, and I will see you guys if and next week.